When we go on tour, we love it. That's the first thing. So we're going to have a ball. That's not how you're supposed to start talking about your tour. But for the family, it's a good outing.
Actually, hot off the press as well, literally seconds. We're jumping around a little bit. We've just found out that both the children can come with us for the whole tour, which is really, really literally seconds ago. So
we got an email from Arthur is now starting college in September, which is the next level up, which is senior big school. And we were a little bit concerned because he hasn't even started yet. But we've never had any problems with Dorothy and Arthur when they've been at the primary school, because the head mistress there always says, it's education, take them away. They will learn so much from traveling around the place. And they've been to Australia with us, New Zealand, they've been to America and Canada, and England and Scotland, Ireland and Wales as well. And she says, do it. It's a great education. We were worried about senior school, but Director Udon, he says, yes, go for it. He is so pleased that Arthur is going to have a chance to join us traveling around the United Kingdom.
But we've got essentially lined up next summer a festival, the Jack of All Trades Festival. So, and we're genuinely really, really excited about it, because it's different and life is all about sort of variety, because we're here, we've been incredibly busy over the last 10 years doing a lot of renovation, and it's been grubby, and then we've had beautiful events, and but we're in this new era now where we're the children are growing up. We still have our wedding and events business. We're writing books. We've got our podcast. We're capturing content. We're doing tours. There's lots and lots of stuff happening, and all of that is really exciting. But having those little nuggets of things that also are going to take us outside our comfort zone as well is great. And I think the thing that I'm looking forward to is watching people's confidence grow, because it is, I think half of these things, or people say I can't do that, is because they haven't got the confidence.
It could be telly, and the idea when we first thought of it was, that would be quite a fun thing to do for telly. But where we are now, we're just thinking, you know what? I would like to prove that anybody can do it. And that's our sort of, our real thing is, if we showed that anybody can do it, it's like our Dare to Do It tour. We say, anybody can do it. And we explain why you do something ridiculous like buy a Chateau. And to be fair, buying a Chateau is cheaper than buying a bedsit in East London. Now, that makes life interesting when you start sort of looking at the facts. And I think that's a huge part of our logic.
Does it mean a lot for you to be able to actually do it as a family? It's not just kind of like a venture, it's actually like your family's thing to do?
Oh, do you know, that's a lovely question. Thank you. Because we've done everything with the children in mind. We looked for our forever home with thinking that we wanted to create a home that was for the children. When we've tried to create, and we are a business, so we have to earn money, and the Chateau does need sort of upkeep. But when we have been thinking about the wedding business, we're all thinking two things. What do we like doing, and what can make us present for the children? Because they can see that we're busy some of the time. We have family moments together, but when we are in our busiest times, they are now at the age where they come around and they see what we're doing and they help and they're part of it. And I think they have always felt very invested in part of everything. And up until this moment, we've done 4 tours and they have been on all of them, and they have loved it, because it's whilst people love saying hello to us, the children steal the show every time, and they're really engaged in asking them questions and finding out about school. And it has, the Escape to the Chateau was a family journey. So, for us to go sort of on tour and talk about that, it's lovely to have the whole family. It takes it to a different level.
What are the challenges of traveling as a family though? Because all 4 of you going around different spots in the UK, does it come with any kind of like difficulties or anything that you've kind of actually become quite good at now that you've been doing it a little while?
Well, one thing I would say is the rationalizing what we take, because we when we go on tour, we take more with us for the first than just luggage, and we're going for a period of time, and so consequently, what's happened is we've tended to travel back separately from the children and Jenny and Steve, Angela's parents, because we've got a car full of stuff moving. But then that goes around the tour, that goes around separately for most of the tour. Trying to keep Dorothy down to 1 or 2 suitcases is quite a challenge.
Dorothy is the one to watch. The challenge, completely being honest with you, and we have learned as we have gone, is completely logistics.
Laundry.
So laundry. It is. It's
Rock and roll.
It's
I gotta tell you, this
basically
is all rock and roll.
it's basically the backbone of every tour as for our happiness. So the first tour we did, I invested in like 24 zip bags and had everybody's undergarments and socks, etc., and they were all labeled up for every day. And so, because actually, what the difficulty? This is really boring, but you asked the question.
No, I think it's real. This is real.
But the difficulty is, you can imagine, in every hotel, you're mainly there for one night, and you rock up, you check in, you turn yourself around, and you're down for sound check. So carrying everything in, and then the next morning bringing everything out has always felt too much. So we have these Ziploc bags, and we just try and take in our essentials and one day's clothing. But you can imagine, every few days, the back of our car is just
a bomb site.
And I don't like mess, so I spend hours once we get into the theatre organising and sorting underpants all the time. So that becomes quite interesting.
It's interesting because we haven't stopped doing things. Now, the end of Escape the Chateau in 22 was the culmination, because Arthur starts senior school. He's going off in the next phase. All these things are happening. But I think one of the things that we allows us to sort of keep talking on a weekly basis about what's going on to the podcast. And Angela puts out her newsletter as well. And we have all little bits of video and stuff that's going on in our life. We just seem to continue to be busy. It's a different busy from making television, because the television we made, we had projects we had to culminate, because we had the 8 programs per series to look at. This is different because we've got a broad front of lots of things happening in our life.
The next thing has to be really, really, really right for us, because, I'm not a television presenter. Dick is, and Dick used to go out to work, sort of, being a real presenter. But I'm not, and I think there'll never be, and I know it sort of will make some people sad, but there'll never be an escape in the same way, because we were filming the whole year. We have always said at some point we would be really open to a little update and Christmas special, etc., because that's a sort of short and sharp and actually will probably feed the hunger, but whilst still keeping the children's privacy. And they're still, we've just done a book. They come on tour with us. We're not saying, oh, don't look at our children now, because that's not who we are. But there's different from film crew being here the whole year, especially with Dorothy, who's really aware of who's becoming really aware of herself, because she's 10, and where Arthur's Arthur. I don't know if
Boys are so simple.
I still sort his clothes out for him in the morning.
Oh yeah.
I've not been able to do that for years with Dorothy, but we could sense that a couple of years ago, and we've made the right decisions, because whatever is next for us, the family will come first. Virgin Radio.